Hey everybody, this is Alessandro. Welcome back to my channel. And today I want to talk about the most important skill that you need to have and develop to be a really good animator. And this is actually create solid pose. Okay, so because even before you jump into the animation, you start to animate your character, you need to have the confidence to be able to create one single pose, your first frame of your own animation that is really good and solid. Okay, and I notice this mistake very often, especially from students or junior. What they do is, like, when they start to pose their character, maybe at the beginning of the shot or something, they won't put a lot of effort and energy, because they think, you know what, Alessandro, actually in the next few frames my character is going from this pose to another one, so the first frame I'm not gonna sit for very long. Or maybe even if you're holding a pose, says, you know what, as soon as I make the character breathing or moving a little bit, it's gonna be okay. It's not gonna be too bad. And I think this kind of attitude is actually very bad, because it means actually that you're not very confident of your skill. Okay, and also when you do your acting or maybe your animation, because you're not confident of holding a certain pose for a specific amount of time, you're always gonna try to move it a little bit, okay? And then it's gonna lead to a shot that's gonna be overacted, or maybe unnecessary movement and just distracting. It's not gonna feel very natural. You know what I mean? And even when I went to Animation Mentor, actually, one of the first things that they taught us is, alongside the bouncing ball and all that exercise, the first things that they teach us actually was, learn how to do a solid pose, just one frame, no animation, but just studying the appeal, the strength, line of action, all those things. Because my personal opinion is that if you're not even able to make one single pose that looks good, appealing, dynamic, has the proper silhouette, line of action, there is no point to move forward. Okay, if you're not able to do a pose that looks good and be proud and holding it as long enough so the audience can understand the character, the motivation, what it's thinking, why you should waste your time to animate? Because if you're not able to do a single frame that looks good, what makes you think you can do movement, you can do animation? Okay, and this is something I notice a lot of people struggle. And it brings me back actually to traditional animation, to 2D animation or comics as well, because when I was young, for passion, I was drawing comics. And when you do that, when you do one frame and you start to do it, the line of action, the shape and everything, you tend to craft, especially if you're doing a major key poses for your own animation. You're not just gonna do it very quickly. If it doesn't look good, doesn't matter, next frame is gonna be something else. No, you have to craft it and make it really solid and look good. And that's actually what makes the difference from a professional animation and an amateur animation, where you can see all the frames, they're not very interesting. And same concept is when you do comics. Okay, when you draw for a comics or like a panel, you're not gonna think like, oh, I'm gonna do a shitty drawings just because the reader is not gonna focus on this image for so long. It's just gonna read the text and then move on. No, actually, when I was drawing comics, I was reading comics as well. You spend a lot of times looking at an image. If it looks really good, you see like, oh my god, look how this pose is dynamic, as I was looking through the detail, anatomy and everything. And that's because the artist put a lot of effort in each single draw. And that's the thing you should do as well in 3D animation. Okay, if you're not proud of it, okay, you're gonna jump very quickly from one pose to another, not putting a lot of effort. And in general, I would say, if you have this kind of attitude, that you don't put this kind of effort, it's gonna reflect also in your body mechanics. Okay, because when you feel like, oh, maybe the weight here is not that good, but doesn't matter, next 3 frame, the character is moving to another action. That's what sometimes I feel like a lot of animators do. They do things very quickly, which by the way is good when you want to test things out, but when you do quality, you don't want to do things too fast, because yes, they do it very quickly, and then you can see there is not a single frame that looks good. Okay, there is not a single frame that looks good. There is not a good movement that looks really solid and convincing. You could see that there is not a lot of thought put into that animation. Okay, and it doesn't look very original, very funny. The character looks very, very bland and not appealing at all. Okay, And my suggestion, guys, if you're recognizing this kind of, if you recognize this in your workflow or in your own style, my suggestion would be go back and study traditional animation, or the very professional one done by Pixar, Disney. But traditional animation is a very good example because, as I said, they put a lot of times in crafting. And it's a very good exercise to study maybe a single shot, okay, that you think is very appealing. Maybe pause on a particular frame and you can try to draw over, okay, to do a draw over to understand why this pose feels so good, okay. Or maybe what you can do is take your own 3D character, okay, and look as an example of a 3D animation done by professional studio. Go on a particular frame and try to recreate with your own rig, and test the limitation as well of the rig, see how much you can push it. Because another things I always notice that animators, they're a bit afraid to push certain face expression or stuff like that, and they do not actually realize the potential. Okay, guys. So yes, that's the thing I want to put out there. Short video today, guys. I hope you enjoy. I hope you guys are doing very well during this pandemic situation. I hope all of you are safe. And see you next time. Ciao, guys.